Good evening. How's everybody doing? I got to give you another update on things. Didn't work out so far as good as we thought they were going to be. My wife is supposed to have been coming home last week. The short of the long story is, I guess that's how you say it, they closed the case for the home health aide and the nurses. I guess, I don't know why. She was in the rehab for 2.5 months, I believe. But all goes well, very soon she should be coming home. Because she can't come home without anyone there to take care of her other than me. And it's getting very hard for me to do that. As a matter of fact, it's getting harder and harder for me to even rake leaves. I get all out of breath and, you know... that's why I'm going to depend on the hillbilly leaf plow to do the leaves. So I'm going to have to do that. I mean, I can clean them off the walkway and the porch and the deck and stuff like that with no problem. And I got a small electric leaf blower, and I also have a gas one. But when you get too many of them, they're just too much, and when the pile gets too big, I have no choice but to use the hillbilly leaf plow. And the reason I built the hillbilly leaf plow is because it's getting harder for me to rake leaves. I mean, going out and picking up branches, and I'm huffing and puffing. Jeez. You know, I'm going to be 82 this December, so I got to do what is safe for me. And if it means I'm going to use the hillbilly leaf plow in areas where I really shouldn't be using them, I'm going to use it because I'm going to have to do because if something happens to me, my wife will end up in a nursing home permanently. So that's the way that goes. So I got to think of number one as far as me being the sole caretaker of my wife. My son helps out, of course, but, you know, there are things that he can't do. You know, like going to the bathroom and helping her with those items and stuff, because a home health aide does not come 7 days a week. So anyways, she's doing a lot better, and as a matter of fact, she ordered and picked it up. I picked it up at the post office yesterday, an elliptical. It's you put it on the floor, it plugs in or it goes manual, and it's only for the feet, and you're not supposed to stand on it. You do it from the chair, and that's going to help her out. I brought it over to the rehab center in their room. The problem is it's got 4 rubber feet on it, about 1 inch in diameter. But on the tile floor, it's when she pushes on it, because you got to push to get some resistance, it slides. So I got to sit there and hold my foot on it. So if I'm not there, she can't get to use it. So, and the physical therapy ended, and it's all about money. They can't do it. I went over all channels, and I says, can't they at least walk her down the hallway if she was doing real good? Can't do that. You know, the physical therapist had to speak to a supervisor, and no. I was supposed to do it, but they wouldn't let me do it, because if she falls, they're not liable. So I'd follow her behind with the wheelchair, and she'd be on the walker, and, you know, and she did good, like 40 or 50 feet of walking before she had to sit down on the wheelchair. So I asked him again, I can't, how am I supposed to do it? I mean, if you don't let me do it, then your physical therapist won't do it, and they were going to let one of the aides that take care of her, a real nice lady over there, but she said that if she falls, I won't be able to pick her up. Well, if she falls, I can't pick her up either. So, you know, with the physical therapist, they put a strap around her, and they hold her in case. But she hadn't had the need that she did. Yeah, I can't even talk. She didn't really need the strap anymore, so that worked out really good. But for the last few days, I mean, this past Monday was the last day of therapy. And it wasn't even therapy. It was just talking. Well, you graduated. You're gone as far as you can go. Well, that's fine. But meanwhile, they get her out of the bed and they get her into the wheelchair, which is the wheelchair she has here. We brought it over. And that's fine. But I said, she's not getting any exercise. She's going to revert back to what she was again. You know, you can only do so much. You can do the movement of the legs and everything else, but it's not the same as walking, you know. So I can't walk her. They won't let me. And the aide, the lady that's there, feels she's not strong enough to do that because there's usually a guy there that does it. And I usually sometimes go behind and I work the wheelchair. But the guy is right with her in case she falls. So that's where we're at right now. So the elliptical should help a lot. The problem is you have to put so much force on the elliptical that it slides forward. So I had to hold my foot there while I visit. And I get there like 11 a.m. and I leave at 1:30, sometimes 1:15, you know, and get back here. So I have very little time to do anything, never mind leaves. So I'm not going to kill myself doing those leaves. So I'm going to be using the hillbilly leaf plow, and there'll probably be videos on that if Tommy's around and he does it. Tommy does help out, but like I say, there's certain things he can't do, you know, like the, you know, cleaning up and so forth. That has to be done by me. So, you know, it's hard. So as far as this hobby here, I'm just sitting dormant. I got this tube tester over here. I glued the corner. It was one little corner. I put some tight bond woodworking glue in there, and that was done off camera. Where I did the inside here, which I'm going to show you right now. So let's go over to the bench here. Okay, as you can see, I ran a bead all the way around, but it all, you know, turned clear so you don't see it anymore. And I don't know if I can get this up here. I'll tell you, I got bad arthritis in my thumb joints. Got no strength in my hands at all. So you can see in there. So, I might want to tighten up the pins on the 5Y3 because when I got it, the tube was rolling around in there. And you know, I bought it from a seller. Was a buy it now. And it really irks me because I didn't get any feedback. Now, I'm not a seller, I buy. But I didn't get any feedback, and I left him positive feedback. So my policy from now on, and it was that way before, is when I buy anything from eBay, the seller's got my money, and if they don't leave feedback, I will not leave feedback. I've done it a few times already, but I did give this guy feedback. So, but it won't happen again because there's no excuse. I bought this, let's see, it came in last week, I think, and there's still no feedback for me. So I gave him positive feedback, but I feel as a buyer should get feedback from the seller because the buyer paid and the seller received the money. As soon as they receive the money, whether or not the seller gets feedback or not has nothing to do with it, because if they give feedback to the buyer, I'll always give feedback to the seller. But if they don't, there's no reason why unless there was a problem and they didn't get payment. Obviously, I wouldn't have the tester if it didn't. And I did not, it was a buy it now, but it was not a make an offer. So anyways, that's basically it. I have the schematic, as I showed you on the other video, for the 01A tube, but this is a 5Y3. And we discussed that when I was sitting outside there. So I haven't done anything more. What I did here, and you saw me on that video, I put the glue in each hole where the screws are. I let it sit for 24 hours. I came back in the shop and I turned the screw, and it turned very hard, but it did turn. And now there's a thread in the glue, and the screws fit very tight in there. And I'm leaving them in there so they don't get lost. And I got to go and replace, or at least check out the resistors and everything in here. The guy did say he worked on it. He has a business card, radio repair, but that doesn't mean anything. I was in that business years ago, and I had business cards in the 60s for a very short time, but I wasn't driving at that time. So my dad had to take me all over. I gave that up pretty quick. So, but anyways, I'm going to be working on this, but I'm not going to make a video on it because there's not that much interest in electronic videos, I don't think. There are a few of my viewers that like it, but I'm going to concentrate on working on this when I get time. And the best thing to do would be when my wife is home. I also, last week I went for emissions and the car passed. The engine check light was not on, and all tests showed good. It's temperamental. Sometimes the evap error engine check light will come on. It'll stay on a week and then go off. And I don't know why, but I'm not worried about it. Unfortunately, 2 more years from now, I have to have the emissions done again. Why? I don't know, because the car will be over 25 years old at that time. It's 2003, and it's 2025 now. So yeah, they get every minute out of you, every day out of it, an hour, or whatever you want to call it. So anyways, I haven't been doing anything in the shop, and I hope to. But when you're not in the mood, because of so many things going on and health issues and so forth, you know, you don't feel like doing anything. I got this because, well, do I need it? With all the testers I've got, you know, with the Hickok and everything? No, I don't. But the way I look at it, a lot of people gamble their money away. A lot of people smoke their lives away. A lot of people drink their lives away. I don't do any of that stuff. I've never gambled in my life, other than a $1 lottery ticket when the lottery first came out in Connecticut years and years ago. And it's a waste of money. I'd rather buy a cup of coffee. I get something to show for it in the form of yellow water. So anyways, my wife asked me, what do I want for Christmas? I said, I want you home for Christmas. You know what it is at Christmas? She's a Christmas person, 100%. And she feels very, very, very bad that she can't put up the Christmas tree, the decorations, physically can't do it. So we had to go to a 4-foot Christmas tree, which she did not want to do. And, you know, I'm going to have to put that up for her. And then, you know, our good friend Natalie, her good friend and our good friend, will come and do all that stuff for her. She's very, very nice. She only lives about 2 miles from me. And, you know, if it wasn't for her, I don't know what I'd do. But, you know, a lot of time now she's changed. Instead of wrapping the gifts and all that stuff, which I've always joked with her for years, saying, what do you wrap them up for? I want to tear them up and throw the papers out anyways. But what she does now is she gets these big, like, shopping bags or Christmas gift bags, and then she has the small gift bags that for small items, and it puts a name on it. And instead of doing all that, we just have a shopping bag for Tommy, a shopping bag for her, and a shopping bag for me, you know. And I got to start thinking about getting something for her Christmas. The elliptical was one of the things that she says, I can't wait for Christmas. I need to get working on that now. And I said, okay, let's do it, you know. So, but the last thing on my mind is Christmas. And even in the shop here, it's on the back burner. Yes, I bought the tester, and I'm going to do something with it. But I can do more later when she's home. Now, the other issue is the generator. It's still surging. I ordered a carburetor. It's under $18 with the shipping, free shipping, on eBay for the Champion. I think it's a Champion model 46 114 or something like that. I don't know, but I got it written down in the house. I can't remember numbers. Anyways, it's the right carburetor. I tried spraying it where the idle screw is, and there is no actual idle screw. Your idle is controlled on a generator with the governor. But however, the carburetor does have an idle screw in there, but that just holds I think it's the jet. I'm not sure what jet it is, I don't know carburetors that much. I watched James Condon, Condon. I watched one today, making a rectifier pack, because on a generator he was working on, and an MOV, a metal oxide varistor for surges, because you couldn't get the part anymore for the generator. If you ever want to know how to fix a generator, James Condon, that's his name, it's a channel. A young fella, and he does real good. He has a lot of videos on generators and rebuilding the engines of them, rebuilding the carburetors, the whole works. But with me, with carburetors, I got such bad eyesight, I can't see. If I lose a piece, I'm done for. I can't see. But I'm going to try, before I pull that carburetor out, I'm going to see if I can. I did it once. I don't know if it's going to work. First, take the bowl nut off on the bottom, but hold the bowl up, because I'm afraid that the gasket might tear or something, and then it'll leak like a sieve, and spray carburetor cleaner up underneath. And also, if I can take that, what's supposed to be the idle screw, but it isn't an idle, it's just a plastic thing that holds the jet in. If I can get in there without taking the carburetor out and give that a spray, and if that clears it up, I won't have to put the new carburetor in. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do it, and it's going to take me a half a day to do it. And I need a good day to do it, and I can't do it when my wife is in the rehab, because I spend half the day up there. I can't work like that. I can't work on a schedule. I gotta do it my own pace. I get stressed out otherwise. So I gotta go and work when I know I got a good day. It's sunny. It's not too cold, and of course it's not going to be hot anymore. So we don't have to worry about that, and to be able to do it, because the way that platform is, and I don't think I made a video on it, I'm able to. The platform that I made can be used as a platform, or you take the end piece off and it drops down and it becomes a ramp. So the generator's got to be pulled out and then physically turned around on the platform so that the carburetor is faced out and the exhaust is faced in. That's just the way that is. So $18 for a carburetor is good, but to me it's a lot of work, because it's getting that governor spring and the governor bar in there. I had an SOB time getting that in to line up, and I almost had to bend the spring in order to bend it and get it in. I don't really want to do that. I just can't see good to do it. It's hard to work with reading glasses and holding a magnifier and trying to get that in the hole. That's the worst part, getting that governor and the governor rod in place. They make it look so easy on YouTube, but it is not easy. It's easy for a young guy with good eyesight. But anyways, I've talked enough. So that's where we're at right now, because I know I mentioned to all of you in the past that in recent videos that my wife should be coming home next week, and of course that's passed and she's not home yet. So if all goes well, she'll be here, and I'm worried about losing power, and I'm going to have to run that generator surging. I can't help it, and risk damaging electronics, including the lift chair, because that has a remote and there is electronics in that. But I can't help it. It's surging, and unless I can change the carburetor, I'm going to have to live with it, because I certainly can't go out and buy another generator. That's too expensive. And if I did, where would I put it? I'd have to be outside in the weather. And because I got that gen house was built for that generator. You buy something else, I have the modification with the exhaust that comes out and goes into the thing. I think I showed all that to you. It's on my videos. You can look back. I never removed them. So, it's a lot of work, to do that. So if I can get this to stop surging, and ideally without replacing the carburetor, and I'll have this for a spare, that's great. But with my luck, no. I've had so many small engines that always surged. The problem is, it surges even on half choke, and it almost runs normal, but it's got to be almost shut off. But when you put any load on it, it starts surging again. So, and I've never had problems with that Champion generator. The reason I changed the carburetor before is because it was leaking all over, and I think the needle valve and seat weren't closed, but it's too small for me to work on. I lose that thing, it'll be on the ground, I'll never find it. So I can't work with small stuff like that. The whole carburetor, that's one thing, but to take it off on the bench, I'd have parts all over, and they'd be flying all over the place. All right, folks, that's an update. I wasn't going to make a video, but hey, you got it. Whatever it is you do, don't put off tomorrow what you can do today, because you may like it today, and you know what? As Paul Harvey would say, good day.